the British Cactus and Succulent Society. Whoa.
Hiya, my name's David Moore. I'm a BCSS member. I've been a member for about 5 or 6 years now. I initially joined when I was living in the UK, but I've subsequently moved to Spain. So I'm one of the black sheep of the family. I've been approached by another member to do a short video of my collection and my greenhouse. So here we go. I'm really fortunate in the fact that we get really good weather here, so it's ideal for the plants to grow. I'm mainly into cacti and stapeliads. I'm not all that struck on most succulents, but I've had some for a few years and I just keep them in and hang on. These are the ones that are currently most in flower at the moment. Echinopsis down there, Mammillaria teresa, which is just absolutely beautiful. I can't remember the name, I can't pronounce the name of the one behind it. Some Rubusias, Orange Ice and Helios of Flame. Cactus geometricus. As you can see, there's quite a bit of growth to come on with the Echinopsis. These are just the general plants. Some have flowered, some are due to flower. The ones I'm particularly pleased with are these homegrown, I can't remember the name, Frailea castani. They're 3 years old now and they're finally just coming to flower. I've also got some Epilanthum micromeris, which again are homegrown. They're about 3 years old, and this is the first time I've actually got any seeds from them. I don't have any sort of any particular type of cacti that I like. I like the Echinopsis, I like Rubusias, I like Mammillarias, and then just various bits and pieces that take my fancy when I'm at a garden centre. This is Mammillaria painteri, a variegated version, and the normal version there, and I'm trying to pollinate the variegated one with flowers from the normal one, but so far I haven't had much success. I'm not particularly overly keen on the really prickly ones, but unfortunately some people sometimes give them to me as a gift, and then I haven't really got the heart to get rid of them. So I'm a bit of a softie, and I'm stuck with them then. This is one of my favourite Rubusias. It's past flowering now. I picked this up on holiday in Portugal last year, and it's just lovely, just a mass of flowers. This one I'm not quite sure where it came from, just one you picked up along the way. These two here, this one, you can see there's masses of buds coming on, and this one, same thing, same idea. These, when they flower, you can't actually see the plant, there's just so many flowers on it. That's the garden and the pool. So I'll go downstairs now. It's not just cacti I have. I like all sorts of plants. I grow a lot of things that would be considered house plants in the UK. My sister has dementia, and her daughter grows and propagates plants and sells them and donates money to UK Alzheimer's Research. So I tend to do that. I tend to sort of propagate a lot of things, obviously when I was in the UK, and can give them to her, but I get into the habit of it, and unfortunately that's a habit that's difficult to break. So I just propagate things, and I either give them to local charities, or I sing in a choir, and I give them to members to sell and just put money into the kitty. Hello, Margie. Unfortunately, this past 6 months or so, I've had the most horrendous attack of mealybug. I've been okay with the cacti, just occasional cacti, and some occasional succulent have been affected, but most of the stapeliads have. These are cuttings from Edith Colea grandis, I thought the plant was dead. I'd grown it from seed. It was 3 years old, and it looked like it was dead. It was just dried, not doing anything. And I was going to chuck it out. And when I unpotted it, you could see that mealybug had damaged the roots. So I actually cut some of the stems, and they were lovely and green. So I thought, well, I might as well just have a go with you and try. And they're all coming on. They've all rooted, and they're all coming on, I'm pleased to say. These are Pyranthus globosus. They were actually in with this pot of peanut cacti, and they were just growing throughout the whole thing. So when I unpotted it, I just broke up. So I've potted them all individually, and they'll be up for available at some point soon. Crashla falcata, some Astrophytum young cacti I got a couple of weeks ago at a plant fair. These are some Echinopsis cuttings. Mammillaria plumosa, Epiphylium oxypetalum. This is a rose that was my mother-in-law's rose, and I took a cutting of that and brought it with us from Wales when we actually moved here permanently, and it's done quite well. This is in its second year now. I've still to take off these deadhead these because I'm going to take cuttings from them, and apparently they do better if you take a stem that has flowers on it. This is a plant called Plectranthus. I don't know its species name. It's it's quite a common plant here. It's quite pretty with its blue flowers, but if you brush against it, it absolutely stinks. It's horrendous. Apachypodium. This is Mandevilla. Again, I don't know what the species name is. It's something that was given to me by friends. They were in Gibraltar and they bought it and brought it back for me. So I'm quite pleased that I managed to keep it going for 4 years. It's just a rose from Lidl, funnily enough. Love this yellow rose. Again, I'm leaving these heads on because I'll take cuttings from these and try and grow them on. This is a hibiscus that our neighbour gave to us when they went back to the UK. And these are the Stapeliads here. These are my main sort of passion with them. I've had difficulty at first. We've been here 2 years now full time, and I've had difficulty finding someplace suitable for them because they're supposed to have sun in the morning and then filtered light throughout the rest of the day. So I've got them up against this east facing wall which gets full sun in the morning, and in the afternoon it's sheltered, filtered light through this jacaranda. The jacaranda also has Selenoceras grandiflora, which that's been in for 2 years now. It grew and flowered last year, but it's not really making much effort to do anything this year, so I may just need to take a cutting from it and start again. And this is Hyaloceras undulata or undata, I'm not quite sure the species name, but as you can see, that's grown up into the tree and has done very well. It flowered last year quite well, had a couple of dozen flowers. I tried to pollinate them itself, but unfortunately nothing came of that, so they're obviously not self-fertile. This is Stapelia gigantea, which all three of these I'm a bit disappointed with. They were in full sun last year, flowered extremely well, I had masses of flowers from them, loads of visits from the flies, but no seeds, unfortunately, no seed pods. But these have been, you can see they've been damaged a bit by the sun. They're a bit scorched, and they haven't done anything much at all this year growth wise. So I've taken a cutting from this one and split that, and hopefully, you know, I'll get some growth from that. And that was one of the Edith Collier that I took last year, before it was damaged. Actually, the dog ran past it and knocked it off, so I just planted it, and that's coming on really quite well. This is what they call a greenhouse. It's actually just a lean-to. What the front half is my greenhouse, the second half's my other half shed. This is my man shed and that's his man shed. It's only been going for about 6 months. It was the back end of last year he built it, but it's done really, really well. You know, the plants have overwintered really well. They seem to quite like it. They get shelter and they get warmth. That's an Easter cactus, which again was my mother-in-law's, and I've had that must be 6-7 years now, and that flowers every year. Lovely, lovely flowers. This is my propagator. Those are rose cuttings, the rose from out the front. Some Edith Collier, but I've got these in sphagnum moss because these just have not taken root, unlike the other ones. And somebody posted something the other day about using sphagnum moss to root the difficult ones. I tend to use, when I'm growing seeds, I tend to use the baggy method to grow them. These were started off last year, but they're still a bit tender, so I've left them in the bag. These are other ones that have started about the same time, and they seem to be doing okay. These are Pseudolithus. I think these are Muturinus? Yeah, these are Muturinus, these ones, and these are Cubiformis. These are Stapelia Lenditse, Variegata and Hirsuta. This is my Cubiformis, which has flowered well both last year and this year, and despite the fly activity with them, I've never had any seeds. This is White Sloana crassa, which I've grown from seed. That's coming up for 2 years old, and that flowered last year. It flowered last week from there, and I've got another flower coming on here with it. Hope you can see against the sun. But again, despite the flies, I've never had any seeds from it. That's Pseudolithus McCoy, another White Sloana crassa, and these are Lariaceae cactiformis. A lot of these just look really quite small and not doing very much. I mean, some of these are just cuttings that I've taken myself, but practically all my Stapeliads, all of them were affected with mealybug. I lost quite a lot. A lot of them I just had to sort of separate and split up and treat, spray them, and I finally got things under control, and they're all starting to come back on again, I'm pleased to say. This is, oh gosh, I can't remember the name now, Caralluma hesperidum, Orbea descaisniani, and it has really sort of quite tiny little flowers. They're very pretty, a little sort of dark maroon velvety flower, and they absolutely stink. They're probably one of the worst of the lot. You can smell them from about 3 feet away. Usually you've got to get your nose into the flower to actually smell anything. But those are quite pungent. Most of these are new plants that I've bought in. This is one sent to me by a friend in the UK. Orbea deriverensis. And that's flowering quite nice. That's quite a pretty little flower. Orbea variegata, the miniature one. That's the cuttings of that Stapelia gigantea. We don't get John Innes compost over here, so unfortunately I just have to use a commercial cacti compost, which is mainly sand and organic matter, and then I mix that half and half with aquarium gravel, because again you can't get sharp sand. Sharp sand or coarse gravel are just not available. These are the few epiphyliums that I've got. That's a Ripsalis something or other, I think. That's Epiphylium pumillum. I'm not really quite sure the name of most of these. That's Epiphylium anthianus. That's Ripsalis basifera. That's another Ripsalis, which I really don't know the name. That's Epiphylium guatemalensis monstrosus. That is Lepismium monicantha, which is the same as this one, and it has lovely little orange flowers. There's just one still to bloom, but the rest are past, but very pretty little things. And again, I have no idea what this one's called. This is Aeonium kiwi. It's not in a particularly sunny spot, because normally the leaves get much more yellow than that, and with just a pinky tinge. It's got a flower, so apparently that little bit's going to die off. And this is a really lovely chappie, this one, a jade plant, crassula. This was given to me by the neighbour behind who went back to the UK. This will be 12 years old now. I'm really quite pleased with this. I've had lovely flowers earlier on this year. Right, that's the lot, I think.
The British cactus and succulent.